On August 2025, the WNBA's gilded narrative around Paige Bueckers, the Dallas Wings' supposed savior, shattered under the merciless glare of the Seattle Storm's defense. Billed as the heir to Caitlin Clark's throne, Bueckers was the media's golden child anointed as the next face of women's basketball. Her 44-point masterclass against the Los Angeles Sparks days earlier had fueled the frenzy, with headlines crowning her the fastest to 200 points and 50 assists in just 11 games, outpacing Clark's rookie records. ESPN ranked her 13th midseason, lauding her efficiency and poise. But in Seattle, the hype met a brutal reality. The Storm didn't just defeat Bueckers, they exposed her, dismantling the myth of her invincibility in a 92-67 rout that left her legacy in tatters. This wasn't a game. It was a reckoning, a public unmasking of a manufactured superstar who crumbled when faced with the defensive gauntlet Clark endures nightly. The masquerade is over, and the WNBA's desperate bid to crown a new queen lies in ruins. Bueckers entered Seattle riding a wave of adulation. Her Sparks performance, 44 points on 80% shooting, had analysts gushing, with some daring to whisper she'd surpassed Clark. The narrative was relentless. Bueckers was more polished, more cerebral, a fundamentally sound prodigy ready to inherit the league. Outkick's headline blared, "No Caitlin, no problem. Paige Bueckers can save the WNBA season." Her 47.4% field goal percentage gleamed next to Clark's 41.7% rookie mark, and her mid-range mastery was hailed as a throwback to basketball's purer days. The media painted her as untouchable, a diva among divas, gliding through defenses like a college scrimmage. But Seattle's Climate Pledge Arena became her crucible. The Storm, led by coach Noel Quinn's ruthless game plan, didn't buy the hype. They unleashed a defensive masterclass that stripped Bueckers bare, revealing a player unprepared for the spotlight she'd been handed. The stat line tells a story of collapse. 11 points, 2 of 11 shooting, 0 assists, 2 rebounds, and a -17 rating. This wasn't the Paige Bueckers of highlight reels, the one who torched LA with mid-range jumpers and effortless drives. This was a player suffocated, hesitant, and exposed. Seattle's defense, anchored by Brittany Sykes and supported by Skylar Diggins-Smith, Gabby Williams, and Ezi Magbegor, was relentless. They blitzed her, doubled her, and contested every shot, forcing her to pass when she couldn't find space. Quinn had warned pregame, "After scoring 44, we knew we had to be physical, show multiple bodies, make her hesitate." The Storm executed with precision, rotating defenders to clog her lanes and deny her rhythm. Bueckers, used to soft defenses and open looks, folded under the pressure, her efficiency evaporating like mist in a storm. This wasn't just a bad night. It was a revelation. For months, Bueckers had been coddled, floating through games with kid glove treatment while Clark faced a gauntlet of physicality. In 2024, 17% of all WNBA flagrant fouls targeted Clark, a rookie who absorbed hits that would make linebackers flinch. The Chicago Sky alone accounted for 80% of those fouls, turning games into target practice. Clark's 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds came against defenses designed to break her, with coaches openly admitting they schemed to be physical as a primary tactic. Yet, she delivered, rewriting record books and filling arenas, her 41.7% shooting a testament to grit over glamour. Bueckers, meanwhile, feasted on easy looks, her 47.4% efficiency built on uncontested shots and one-on-one matchups. Against Seattle, she faced the Caitlin Clark treatment for the first time. Blitzes, doubles, 94-foot pressure, and wilted, passing up shots and vanishing when the game demanded a superstar. The contrast is stark. Clark's rookie season transformed the Fever from a league afterthought into must-see TV, boosting viewership and relevance. She faced no grace period, no soft defenses, just relentless pressure and flagrant fouls that bordered on assault. Her coach, Stephanie White, called some plays unacceptable, yet Clark thrived, averaging nearly 9 assists and creating open shots for teammates despite constant double teams. Bueckers, with 0 assists against Seattle, couldn't match that playmaking. Her 19.7 points, 5.3 assists, and 4.1 rebounds, while solid, were padded by lenient defenses. When Seattle treated her like the superstar she was hyped to be, her game unraveled, exposing a player unready for the physical and mental chess match Clark navigates nightly. The media's role in this charade is unforgivable. They crafted a narrative of Bueckers as Clark's superior, ignoring context to prop up a rivalry that never existed. ESPN's rankings, Outkicks headlines, and analysts fawning over her cerebral approach glossed over the disparity in defensive attention. Bueckers' torn ACL and time away were cited as hurdles, but Clark never got such excuses. From day one, Clark was public enemy number one, facing schemes that tested her resilience while she elevated the entire league. Bueckers handed a red carpet, crumbled when the script flipped. Her defenders might point to her injury history, but Clark's lack of a grace period, thrown into the fire and emerging as a Hall of Fame talent, sets a standard Bueckers couldn't touch. Seattle's blueprint is now public. Sykes' physicality, Diggins-Smith's rotations, and Quinn's layered defense showed how to neutralize Bueckers, contest her shots, crowd her space, and dare her to create under pressure. Unlike Clark, who powers through triples to find cutters, or hit contested threes, Bueckers passed out of blitzes, her confidence eroding. The Storm's 12-second chance points at halftime underscored their rebounding edge, further deflating Dallas's momentum. Quinn noted, "Our second and third layers of defense were locked in. We didn't give her easy looks." This wasn't just a win, it was a manual for every WNBA team to study. The Dallas Wings, at 9-28 and out of playoff contention, are a stark contrast to Clark's fever. Bueckers, the number one pick, was meant to be their cornerstone, but her inability